Hi everyone, welcome to Timari's World. Today's video is going to be my very first crochet tutorial. This is the top that I learned how to make when I just started learning how to crochet. I didn't follow a pattern or anything, but I do have my own written pattern for this top that I'll link down below in the description. I would say this is beginner to intermediate level. The only two stitches that you will need to know how to do are a double crochet and a slip stitch. I go over how to do increases for this top, and I love the way that this top looks, and it's pretty easy to make. It doesn't take very long at all. Let's get into the tutorial. Okay, so this is an example top. This is one of the first ones that I made. So the first part that I actually start with, I actually start right here, make this long chain that will wrap around the neck, and then I go into making the triangle shape. The yarn that I'm using is medium weight acrylic yarn. The hook is a 5mm hook. First thing I'm going to do is make a slip knot. Insert my hook into the slip knot. And for the neck strap, I just chain about 55-ish. It's really up to you however long you want it to be, but I just chain about 55. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55. So chain 55, and this is going to be the end of the strap. After making the strap, I'm going to start by making the top of the triangle shape. So to start, I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to insert my hook into the second loop from my hook with a double crochet. Let's pull through 2, pull through 2. And that's going to be the end of this row with just one double crochet. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work to start the next row. So now I'm going to insert my hook into the double crochet that we just made. And I'm going to do 2 double crochets. I'm going to insert my hook through both loops of that double crochet. I'm going to do 2 double crochets. Pull through 2, pull through 2. That's 1 double crochet. I'm going to do 1 more. Now there's 2 double crochets, and this is called an increase. Now to end the row, I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my work to the other side. Continuing on, we're going to do an increase in the first stitch of each row. So this one right here is going to get 2 double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into the first stitch of that row, and do 2 double crochets. That's 1. That's 2. So there's an increase in the first stitch of each row. This stitch, this second stitch, the last one, is just going to get 1 double crochet. So there are 3 double crochets in this row. To end it, I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. I'm going to continue doing the same thing for the rest of this triangle shape, inserting 2 double crochets in the first stitch of the row. That's 1. Two. And then the rest of these 2 stitches are just going to get 1 double crochet. That's 1. And then the next stitch, 1. And then that's going to be the end of this row, so I'm going to chain 1 and then turn my work. So as you can see, it's already starting to become the triangle shape, and as you continue on, the triangle will just continue to get longer and longer because of these increases that we're adding in. I'm just going to continue doing the same exact thing. 2 double crochets, and then the rest just 1. Chain 1 to end the row, and then turn my work, and then 2 double crochets into this one, and then 1 in the rest. chain 1, and this row that I just finished is row 6, and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochets in that row. So each row should have that same number of double crochets. This row is row 6, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochets, including this increase that we did here. So that would be a good rule to follow to make sure you have the correct number of double crochets for your row. I'm going to do 2 more rows on camera and then finish this triangle off camera and then come back and add them together. So this first one is going to get 2 double crochets, that's 2, and then continuing on with 1 in each stitch. Chain 1, turn the work, 2 in the first one, 1 in the rest. Okay, chain 1, turn the work, 2 in this first one, and then 1 in the rest. And sometimes this last one can be a little hard to find, but it's there. You just kind of have to look for it. Okay, and then to end this row, chain 1, turn my work, and I'm just going to continue on until the triangle shape is however long that you need it to be. This is how long my top is. I'm just going to end until this row right here and have this long triangle shape. Just for reference, I would say this is about a medium top, and it comes out to 11 inches for the triangle shape until we get to here. Okay, I have finished all of my rows. This is, how long is this? This is 11 inches long. To end it, I just chained 1 like usual. I'm going to pull this out a little bit, and then I am going to cut the yarn off to end this triangle and then pull it tight. This is going to be 1 cup of the top. I'm going to do the exact same thing another time so that we have another cup. So the same exact instructions for this one, do it again to make the second one. Okay, so now I have 2 identical triangles with the straps at the top, and this one I have not cut the yarn yet, and that's because we're going to continue on this next row and then continue on and connect this one with it. So now we're starting on the band piece that's going to connect both of them together and be the bottom of the top. So I'm going to start off with the cup that I was just making, and I've ended the row by chaining 1, turning on my work, and then now we're going to continue on this way. And since we're on the band, we're no longer going to do the increases in the first stitch. Each one is just going to get 1 double crochet. So starting the band, this first one gets 1 double crochet. And I'm going to continue down the row with 1 double crochet going into each one of the stitches until I get to the end of the row. I have 2 more stitches left in this row. I'm going to do the last double crochet, and I'm not going to chain 1 here. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab this other triangle cup that we made, and the way that I like to do my ends is I like to weave them in as I go. So it's going to kind of be underneath here, and I'm going to work it in as I go. And I'm actually going to cut this in so that it's just a little bit shorter to make it easier to weave in. So on the triangle that we're still working on, that our hook is still attached to, I didn't do a chain one, and I'm just going to insert my hook into the first stitch of this one. And I'm going to insert it into the stitch that has the end on it. So I'm just going to insert my hook here. And then to connect these two pieces together, I am just going to do a slip stitch by pulling through both of the loops and then pulling through and tightening this just a little bit. This is how I'm going to connect these two together. And now to weave in this end, I'm going to place it on top of this row right here and hold it there with my thumb as I continue working on, so it's going to be underneath. So continuing on, I'm going to crochet into the next cup with a double crochet in each of the stitches on this row. So into that same stitch that we just put the slip stitch in, I'm going to insert one double crochet, and this is going to be the first start of this row on this one. And as I go, I am holding this end above my work so that it gets left underneath it and I don't have to weave it in at the end. And this is the way that I weave in all of my ends. You don't have to do it this way if there's a way that you prefer to do it. I know there's a lot of different ways to do that. This is just the way that I prefer to do it so that I don't have to weave in any ends at the end. I'm just going to continue across this row with a double crochet in each stitch. And as you can see, the end of it is right here, but if I pull it out a little bit, it just kind of disappears into the work and you can't even see it. I'm going to continue double crocheting across until I get to the end. Okay, we have one more stitch left in this row. Going to insert one double crochet into that stitch, and then to end off this row, I'm going to chain one and then turn my work, and now you should have something that looks like this with both of them connected by this tiny little piece in the middle. To start on the next row, I am going to do the same thing with one double crochet into each one of the stitches in the row. So that's one double crochet across the entire row, and I'm going to show you what to do in the middle. Hold on. Now this is the last double crochet in this row, so I'm going to do a double crochet here. This is the last double crochet of this side. So in the middle here, I just like to do one double crochet across this entire thing. So I just put my hook through the whole entire thing, not through any stitch, but through the entire space, and then I just do one double crochet in the middle just like that. And then I continue on with this row by starting in the first stitch of this next one, and you want to make sure that they're oriented the right way, that this one's not like this. You want to make sure that they're both the same side up. And then I'm going to insert one double crochet there and then continue on this row with double crochets until I get to the end like normal. We have one more stitch left in this row. To end it, I'm going to chain one, turn the work around, and now we should look something like this. I'm going to do one more row of double crochets across this row. So just double crochet, one double crochet into each stitch of the row. I have two more double crochets left in this row. I'm just going to chain one to finish this row. This is what my top looks like at this point. So for the band of your top, you can add as many rows as you would like, or as many rows that you want, however long you want the top to be. I usually add 3 rows of the band. So my band this is where the band starts. This is the first row. So this is 1, 2. I'm going to finish off by doing 1 more row of double crochets, just 1 double crochet in each stitch for the last row of my band. And that's going to be the end of the main part of the top. To finish off the last row of the band, I'm going to do 1 more row of double crochets across each stitch in the row. This is the last double crochet I have in this row, and that is going to be the end of the major part of this top, making the cups and the bands. Now all we have to do left is do the 2 strings that are going to tie together around your waist or your back. To start the first string, I continue off where we left here. I don't cut the string, and I just continue chaining on however many chains you would like to do. I usually like to do about 75 and make the back one longer than the one that goes around your neck, but you can make it as long as you would like, just like this one. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to chain 75. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 3, 74, 75. So after I chain 75, I am just going to cut the yarn, pull it through, and then pull this to tighten it. To end all of my strings, I actually just make another kind of knot around this end, just so that it's a little bit more secure, and I kind of hold it so that there's this kind of like space at the top to make the ball a little bit bigger. So I just kind of make a knot like this at the end, and then I'll cut that off, and this will be the end. And I'll do that to all of the rest of the ends as well, make that kind of ball at the top and kind of cut them down to size. Now all we have to do is add that last string into this side. To add the yarn into here, I'm just going to go into this double crochet right here, the one that's on the very end, and I'm going to insert my hook. I'm going to grab the yarn that I want to add and kind of wrap it around there, and then I'll grab the end of the yarn and the work and kind of hold that together in this hand, and then with my hook I'm just going to pull the yarn through, chain, and then kind of pull this tight to do that. In this end you'll have to weave it into the work later because it's just going to be out. And then from here I'm just going to start chaining the 75 just like I did on the other side. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I forgot to finishing this, but I just did 75 and then cut it off just like I did on the other side. And then now I'm going to go ahead and do the same kind of knot thing at the end of this one. Okay, and then cut it off a little bit. Now we have really finished the top with the band, the cups, and both of the strings. I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the strings, cut them off. Okay, now all 4 strings have been cut, and the last thing is to weave in this end. And this is the only end that I have to weave in because of the technique that I used. So I'm just going to weave this into the side of my work. I've weaved in that end and our top is finished. Here's the end result of the top. And that would be the end of this crochet tutorial. This was my very first tutorial, so please let me know if there's any tips that you would give me on like going slower in some parts. I know sometimes I go a little fast, so I apologize for that, but I plan on making more crochet tutorials on a whole bunch of different things, whatever I decide to put out there. If there's something in particular that you would like to see me make, maybe that you've seen on my Instagram or somewhere else, literally from anywhere, just comment down below and maybe I'll make a video about it. If you found this video useful or helpful in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!